All right, what's up, everyone? Big news for all you Dispatch fans out there. It looks like a new memo just dropped from management for our favorite superhero workplace comedy. So today, we're going to break down this latest patch and see exactly what it means for you and your team of heroes. Let's dive right in.
So Ad Hoc Studio just rolled out a brand new update. And you know what? We're going to treat these patch notes like the game's very first official performance review. Yeah, we're going to see what's been working, what's been, totally breaking, and what's finally getting that much-needed tune-up.
So, here's the million-dollar question, right? Did Dispatch actually pass its review, or is it getting put on one of those dreaded performance improvement plans? Let's dig into the notes and find out.
Okay, first up on the review docket, gameplay and story tuning. This is all about improving that team synergy, smoothing out all those little bumps in the road where the story just felt a little off.
It looks like they're really zeroing in on the late-game experience here. So first, balancing relationships. Basically, this just means your choices in episodes 7 and 8 are going to have consequences that actually make sense. No more of those weird, out-of-character reactions from your team, which is great. Second, and this one is a huge relief, they fixed that mission flow bug in episode 8. You know, the one where you'd get completely stuck after assigning heroes? Gone. And finally, some super important power fixes. If you've ever lost a hero forever to one of Malevola's portals, well, good news, that's fixed. Oh, and Phoenix Up will now, actually revive your teammates. Small detail, big difference.
And man, this one really hits home, doesn't it? I mean, we've all been there. Your key hero just gone forever into a portal. This fix is fantastic because it means your entire strategy isn't going to get totally wrecked by a single bug anymore. It's a massive quality of life improvement for sure.
All right, next step is probably the most critical part of any performance review: stability. We're talking about the fixes that stop the entire office from, well, metaphorically catching on fire and burning to the ground. And here it is, the big one, especially for anyone who couldn't even launch the game to begin with. This patch tackles those infuriating fatal error messages and all those other crashes on startup. Thank goodness. Finally, your workday can actually begin. Okay, so the next fix deals with something called a soft lock. And just in case you're not familiar with the term, let's break it down real quick. A soft lock is when the game hasn't actually crashed, but you can't do anything to progress. The game is still running, the characters are maybe idling, but you are just stuck. It is literally one of the most frustrating things that can happen in a game.
So, keeping that definition in mind, this next fix is an absolute game changer. A major, game-breaking soft lock in the first part of Episode 8 has been completely resolved. That means you can finally push through the story without being terrified of hitting that progress-destroying wall.
Ooh, this next one is huge for your peace of mind. They've added new safeguards to stop your save data from getting corrupted or overwritten. Think about it. All those hours you've poured into building your perfect team are now so much safer. That's a big deal.
All right, let's talk about getting the credit you deserve, because you've earned it. This next section is for all you completionists out there. We're talking about fixing those achievements that just refuse to unlock even when you know you did the work.
And this is just fantastic news. The H4K'd by Robert achievement was, as many of you know, notoriously buggy. But the best part? The fix is retroactive. That means if you've already met the requirements, all you have to do is load up your save file, and that achievement should finally pop. Ah, justice!
And they're not done. Another one gets checked off the list. The min-max achievement. For getting a hero's stat all the way to 10 will now trigger correctly. So all your dedication to maxing out those stats will finally be recognized.
And finally, let's get into the final polish and notes. This is that part of the performance review that tackles all the little things, but as we know, it's the little things that really count and make for a much smoother experience overall.
So, let's do a quick rundown here. That Tailor Your Experience menu, it's not going to bother you on every single new playthrough anymore, just the first time. The flight school training issues for upgraded heroes? Fixed. They've also improved the waveform display in the hacking levels to make it a bit cleaner. And on top of that, there's a whole bunch of minor audio, visual, and localization fixes across the board. These are exactly the kind of little touches that really show a commitment to quality.
So, what's the final verdict on this performance review? I'd say it's a definite pass, with flying colors even. The game is way more stable, the story flows better, some major bugs have been squashed, and hey, players are actually getting the rewards they've earned. All in all, the superhero office is a much better place to work today.
And that brings us to one final thought.
Look, this was a fantastic update, but let's be real, no game is perfect. So I want to ask you, what's the one improvement you really want to see in the next performance review for Dispatch? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. It's always great to hear what you guys are thinking. Thanks for tuning in.